everybody? Hi, I'm Libria. Apologies for being late. I was over on Picky Girls Travel talking about the financial mistakes that I've made throughout my life, how I feel like I'm not ready for retirement, and the things that I've been doing to try to pull my together so that I can retire at some point. But anyway, I made it over here. What's up? I had such a great conversation. Guys, you should definitely go watch the live. I kept it super real about the stupid things that I've done over my life, the really stupid financial mistakes that I've made. And I talked about kind of what was the turning point that really kind of got my mindset back to, oh crap, I need to retire soon. I need to prepare for that. And some of the things that I'm doing to accelerate retirement. But we can continue that conversation here. People ask some really great questions. Hey, y'all, thanks for coming over here. But you can ask me about remote work too. Before I get started, I want to mention a few things. Yes, I will. I will share the spreadsheet that I mentioned, and I think um, Adelia is probably going to put it in the description. But I need to sanitize it first because it's got a lot of my personal financial information in it. So I can't just share it right now. I have to create a version that I can share with you guys. Um, and what this person is talking about is I mentioned that I created this very, very specific financial goals sheet that kind of parted the clouds and helped me get really, really clear on what my financial goals are in the next year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years. And I literally listed out very specific goals, how much they cost, how they meet my actual core values, why I think they're feasible, and what the strategy would be to complete them. So I'll do that. Yeah, I know how to do it, but I just can't do it right now. Is what I'm saying, Auntie Lou, because I'm here talking to y'all. So yeah, I know how to provide it to you. I just can't do it right this minute. Um, all right, real fast. Let me tell you guys who I am in case you don't know. My name is Libria Jones, also known as the Remote Work Queen. I share information and resources that help people find and land remote work. I actually have a free community. I have a community where you can get a lot of my information that I share here on my Instagram and on my blog. You can get it kind of all in one place, as well as a community of people to support you. But you can upgrade to the full access community and get live masterclasses every week, live weekly Q&A sessions with me, and monthly office hours with career experts to have your resume reviewed, your LinkedIn reviewed, and have monthly job search strategy sessions with my resident job search strategist as well. So I'm going to drop the link to that, and it will be in the description box in the comments. I also have a course called the Remote Ready Bundle that walks you through the 4 phases of finding and landing remote work. And let me drop the link to that really quickly. The Remote Ready Bundle. So you can grab that as well. It's less than $50 and you can pay for it in two installments if you need to. All right, so I am here to answer questions. I don't have an agenda. I don't have specific topics. This is all for you guys to feel free and ask me questions and let me know what you want to know. What can I help you with today? And you are welcome to ask me anything. And I'll be honest, I am a very transparent person, so I don't mind sharing things. If I do mind, I will just tell you and it'll be okay. And if I can't answer your question, I'll try to help you find ways to get it answered as well, even if I got to come back and drop it in the description box later. So someone asked, how long have I used Digit? Man, I think I've been on Digit for a long time. I've put a whole lot of friends onto Digit. So this is carryover from a previous conversation. Someone mentioned in the live that I just did with Adelia over on Picky Girl Travels the World. Someone said, what was it? I can't save any money. I don't make enough to save money. And I said that Digit will prove you wrong. The cool thing about Digit is while you won't save 29 cents or $1.32 or 50 cents, Digit will do that every single day. It will look at your average daily balance and it will store away and squirrel away it'll squirrel away money for you on your behalf. And you'll look up and you'll realize, oh my God, I saved $200 because Digit is being diligent about taking out just small amounts, depending on what your average daily balance is. If your average daily balance is high, it's going to take out higher numbers, just so you know, but you can also cap it. And Digit is a really great tool if you feel like you don't make enough to invest. Because I meant to save, because I know a lot of people feel like, oh, I don't have $100 a month to put away, or I don't have $500 a month to put away. So you don't save anything, because you're not going to save $2 a week, but Digit will do that for you. And so I use Digit for a long time, and a lot of my friends use Digit. Um, yeah, don't yeah. Somebody said they use Digit and they forgot about it. It's a really cool app, and it's grown and changed over the years. So now so now you can set caps on it. You can also set it to be a what is the word? Overdraft protection. So if it sees that your account is about to be overdraft, it will pull money out that it's saved and put it back into your checking account so that you're not overdraft. It'll do all kinds of stuff. Someone said I'm debt free living in Japan. I have enough savings to buy a tiny house in cash. I also have the option to buy a duplex and house hack, but I'd have to get a mortgage. Which do you recommend? I think it depends on your I think it depends on your goals, right? If you don't want to have debt, then obviously you don't want to get a mortgage. But if you can buy a tiny house outright, I mean, that's really up to you and what your goals are. Both of those are great options for very different reasons. Um, and the good thing about a duplex is the good thing about a duplex is you wouldn't be what is the word I'm looking for? You wouldn't be paying a mortgage if you get it rented out, right? So I don't feel comfortable giving you advice about that, but I will tell you, if you go on Facebook, there is this great group called the Key Resource, the Key, like key in the door resource. It is a real estate investment group run by Kendra Barnes, who is a Black woman, and she runs the Key Resource group and the Key Resource. And it is really about helping anybody, but her focus is Black women, to get into real estate investing. And I think that's a great question to ask in that group and hear other people's thoughts on that. Um, Ultimately, it's going to be what you think is best, but I think it's good to kind of call those things out so that you can get other perspectives that you might not have thought of. I think it's a great question and a great option. I like either of those options, to be honest with you. I'd have to think about that. But check out the Key Resource. Let me find it and drop a link right quick. And that way you can ask that in that group. It's a really, really cool group. And we are Key Resource. It's called the Key Resource. It's on Facebook. And here is a link to it. There you go. Let's see here. I used Digit a while ago. Does Tulsa Remote have stipulations regarding how long you have to stay, what you can do with your home? Yes. So I actually have a very long video talking about Tulsa Remote and all of the benefits of living here and the rules of the program. There's two videos, actually, two 1-hour videos, if you want more details on Tulsa Remote. But really quickly, yes, the $10,000 for Tulsa Remote. Let me back up a little bit. I moved to Tulsa with a program called Tulsa Remote. They incentivize people who work remotely to live in Tulsa for 1 year in exchange for $10,000 and 3 years. It used to be 1 year, but now we get 3 years access to a co-working space. We also get an amazing community, and that's not like one of the listed benefits, but it has been one of the biggest benefits to me. The community in Tulsa Remote is hands down one of the best communities ever. They have created, curated, and more importantly, nurtured an amazing community here, which I love. So that's what Tulsa Remote is. Yes, there are stipulations. You can only be here for 1 year. And for your first year, you cannot use your house to earn profits. Your house is not a profit generating tool. And technically you have to be in Tulsa 75% of the year. So hopefully that answers that question. I applied to Tulsa Remote because of you. Can you tell me how it's been in Tulsa for you? Someone in the other chat mentioned tornadoes. Have tornadoes been an issue? So how Tulsa has been for me is a long answer. So I would suggest that you watch those videos. The last video that I did on it was with 4 people who have been here for a year already. And, whether or not we're staying, why we're staying, all that kind of stuff. I've been here for over a year. My friend Kim has been here for 2 years, and I go into a lot of detail. We go into a lot of detail about what it's like to live here. I'll say, in short, it's easy to be here. Like it's easy. It's easy. It's not a tough town to be in. There's no traffic. It's not expensive. And we have a great community here. So it's easy to be here. Um, I have not. I don't want to. I don't want to say this. 'Cause I don't want to jinx anything, but tornadoes have not been an issue up to this point. Um, the truth is, no matter where you go in the U.S., there's some natural disaster that is possible, right? So you go to the West Coast, it's possible that you'll be in earthquakes. You go to the, Middle America, tornadoes. You go to the East Coast, it's hurricanes. You go to the North, it's going to be blizzards. Like no matter where you go, there's going to be something. So that's how I feel about it. What are your thoughts on stalking companies that you'd like to work for on LinkedIn? Following them, engaging their posts. I fully, fully support it, and I think you should, right? So someone asked, what do I think about stalking companies that you'd like to work for on LinkedIn, following their posts, engaging on their posts? Yeah, absolutely do that. For sure. I'd say even better, find people that work in the same role that you would like to be in at those companies. Recruiters are great to find as well. But I always tell people to look for three people to connect with on LinkedIn. One, a recruiters. Two, the person you would report to if you got the job you wanted, right? Look for the person you report to. And three, the person that's in a similar role. So who would be your colleague, who would be your coworker, who would be your, right hand, left hand person. Connect with those people and don't just connect, but engage, right? So LinkedIn is like Facebook. You build relationships on there. And when you think about how many relationships you built on Facebook when we were all super active and how many friends you made on there, right? Just from interacting on posts and commenting on things, that happens on LinkedIn too. And so one thing I'd say is definitely do it. And the second thing I say is do it before you need to, right? Do it before you need to. If you've got dream companies, like I think a lot of us have these companies, like I would love to work there. Go ahead and start doing that now before you need to, even if they don't have a job opening right now. Or even if they had a job opening and it's now closed or you didn't get it, start continuing to build those relationships so that when it comes around again or when an opportunity comes around again, you already have them. What are the pros and cons of Tulsa remote? Again, super long answer. Please watch that video. The short, I think I've already given the pros. It's pretty short. Easy to be here, not expensive, no traffic. And I'm going to say that coming from Atlanta because we have a great community here. The cons I'd say is it's a little tough. It's tougher to travel from here. So it's tough for me to go anywhere without connecting in either Dallas, Chicago, or Atlanta, which is a little annoying coming from a Delta hub. It is tough traveling from here. The second thing I say as a con is, being so far away from my friends and family is definitely tough, right? Like I won't pretend like that's not a thing. And dating here has been a joke. I always joke and tell people like it's two dateable Black guys here. If I didn't love Black men so much, I'd be good. Like I'd be good because listen, the white boys like me. Apparently. So I'd say those are the pros and cons that just come to mind. But if you would love more detail, again, me and three other people did a whole hour-long conversation about this stuff. I didn't say you can't rent out your place, but you can't use your place to make profit. So like if I rented out one of my rooms and got a roommate, that's just me reducing my mortgage. That's not like making a profit, if that makes sense. What they mean is you can't buy a place and then move out and rent your place out to someone else. And you're not even here. Like, let's say you buy a place, you move to Tulsa, you buy a place, get the $10,000, and then you go back to Atlanta. If I had gone back to Atlanta and just rented my place out, like that's not cool. Or if I rented my place out and then moved in with a friend that lives here. Like I had friends who lived here when I got here. So let's say I rented my place out and then went and lived with a friend and made a profit off of this place. You can't do that either. Does that make sense? So you could rent a room out if you needed to, but it's like, don't take advantage of the $10,000 basically. Had my daughter set up the house hack and she blew it. All she had to do was choose the house. Well, you could, I mean, I'm available to be a daughter in this scenario. Um, I would like to add ADU to the Airbnb in my backyard and help my son get a multi-unit. I would love to help my daughter get a place too. I actually would, if I could, I would buy her a duplex before I bought myself one. But she lives in Atlanta and they are expensive and hard to come by. And I can live anywhere. What are the main benefits of being in a remote position? Ooh, I mean, do we even have time? Feel free, folks, to drop in the comments some of the things that you think are beneficial about working remotely, if you do work remotely already. But for me, being working remote, one, I can work from anywhere. Like I get to wake up a given day and decide where do I want to work? Where do I feel like I work best? Where do I feel like I'm more productive? And that might be in my home office. That might be at my dining table. That might be at a friend's house. It might be at a co-working space, a coffee shop. It might be me getting on a plane and going to Mexico, right? So um, for me, the freedom to choose is the biggest benefit. Another benefit is that I don't have to sit in traffic to go anywhere. I don't have to get up and get dressed and sit in traffic and go to an office that a lot of women already can feel this. That is not that where the temperature is not controlled by me. Man, I used to be at my desk with a whole blanket and a little space heater at my desk. Like I can't control the temperature there. I can control it here. But just not having to be in an office looking busy in moments where you aren't, having to deal with like other people's anything at an office, right? Office politics and people interrupting you all day and somebody eating your lunch out of the fridge and all kinds of stuff, right? Not having to deal with the office at all. One of my biggest gripes with being in the office was having to look busy all day. And the truth is, I mean, let's be honest, nobody is 100% productive all day. Some days are going to be 2 hour work days. Some days are going to be 6 hour work days. Some days might be 12 hour work days. But on those days where it's not a full, 6, 8 hour work day, I don't like having to pretend to be busy. I want to be trusted to spend my time the way I think is best, right? If I know I've got to get work done, I'm going to get work done. I want to be trusted to do that. So that's a big deal for me. Those are just some of the benefits that I'd say. Uh, let's see what other questions I have. I'm concerned about tornadoes in Oklahoma, just so I'm concerned about the earthquakes in Mexico City. I don't know if I want to take the chance. I mean, I won't begrudge you your concerns. What I will say is people live here, so it can't be that bad. People live there, so it can't be that bad. Like if it was that bad, it would be uninhabitable, right? Um, eh. Would you have any tips on applying for remote jobs you are overqualified for? I've been trying to get remote customer service jobs without success. I would need to know, like, why are you overqualified for remote customer service jobs? Um, so when I was applying there was a point where I had moved into my profession, which was finance. I went to school for finance and got a master's degree in finance. And when I was working full time in my profession, I decided, you know what? I want a side hustle. Like I need to make extra money. I'm a single mom and I bought a house. I'm gonna need some extra money. And so I started working, trying to get jobs as a customer service rep. One of the things that I did was I would make two separate resumes. So my customer service resume did not have any of my finance work on it because it's not relevant to customer service. All it had on it was my customer service experience. And so if you have any past experience in customer service, I'd say start building out your resume and your applications focused on that. And even if you've never had a specific customer service position, the work that you've done has a customer service component. I would challenge each of us to say that all of our jobs have some component of customer service in it, right? And so when you're building out your resume, like if I were doing this right now and I said I had only been doing project management and finance, I wouldn't be talking about all the finance and project management stuff I was doing. I would talk about the customer service aspects of those things. And so you may need to be adjusting your resume to show specifically customer service. I don't know if that's what you're doing, but that's what I'm gleaning just from your question. And so the other thing I'd suggest you do is maybe have somebody review your resume. Ashley Cash does free resume reviews. Also, if you are a full access member of my community, you get free resume reviews once a month with my girl Chelsea Ado of Not Your Mother's Resume. She's really great at this. She's really great at like going through a resume and kind of giving you the keeping it real with you about things that you need to adjust. And she does those, I think, the first Monday of every month in our full access community. So if you get a full access membership to our community, you can get that every month. Hopefully that answers your question. Oh, there's a lot. It just jumped. The geography teacher in me needs to point out that all places have advantages and disadvantages to living there. Completely agreed. Hopefully I hit that as well. Meet up in Chicago when you have a long layover. Facts. I need to get to Chicago. I miss Chicago so much. I typically visit Chicago a couple of times a year. I love this. Somebody said that's fair. They aren't trying to underwrite your rental investment. And that was about the whole Tulsa remote thing of using your place as a profit. I like the way you put that, actually. I was talking to he got promoted. I keep calling him the COO of Tulsa Remote. I can't remember what his role is now, but he and I had lunch a couple of weeks ago and we talked about that very thing. And he was just like, that's not the spirit of this program. That's not what it's for, right? Can you share more about how you gathered your group to travel with you and your child? I travel with my son, and community is hard to find moving so much. So I'm not going to answer the question that you asked. I'm going to answer the question that you're really asking. You're really asking, how do you find community, right? Because mine was a business. I took a group of people around the world for a year and it was a business, right? But you are looking for, how do I find community? And I won't deny that it's hard. It definitely is. But a few things that I would suggest that you do is, one, engage. You're probably already doing some of this. So apologies if I'm, oversimplifying the answer. But one, engage in communities on, Facebook. There's so many great groups of expats on Facebook. I happen to run a community called Wandering Moms. It has 22,000 moms who love to travel with their kids, and a lot of them live abroad. So when you're going to a place, before you even go into those communities and start connecting with people there, right? Find moms who are in those locations before you even go. So I would say No Madness, Travel Tribe, Wandering Moms on Facebook. And then I always do a search for like expats in this country or city, and then Black expats in this country or city. All right. So start with the Facebook groups. That's a great way to meet people. The second thing, one of the things that I did for my daughter when we traveled abroad is I kept some continuity in the things that we did. So she played soccer before we left the US. She was a soccer player before we left the US. She played for a league. So she played 2 teams for a league. And that's something that I wanted to continue while we were gone. And so I found soccer teams for her to play on. And I specifically reached out to international schools because I knew that they would have kids that speak English or kids that, are from the US. I reached out to international schools and asked if she could play on their teams. So if your child plays a sport, if your child is old enough to play a sport or participate in any extracurricular activity, I strongly recommend reaching out to some of the international schools, because a lot of them will allow your child to participate in things if they are homeschooled. You don't have to be in the international school to participate. Speaking of which, there is a homeschoolers Facebook page as well. If you aren't part of that, then get in that. But some of the things that I've done is make sure that my child is participating in the things that she would participate if we were back in the States. Right. And so it's kind of the same way you build community. If you were in the States, what would you be doing? You would be putting your child in extracurriculars. You would be taking your child to, certain events to make friends and those kind of things. So I think you just kind of replicate that. I have a 30-minute commute and I still enjoy working from home. I had a 10-minute commute and I left that to work from home. So I need a remote job for the monthly income requirement to move to Portugal. I have more than enough money to live off for a long time. What can you recommend that wouldn't require too much effort? I don't know how to answer that question. So I'm going to say it this way. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking. This is why I'm making this face. I don't know what requires a lot of effort from you. I don't know what you can do easily. You specifically, Jackie, I don't know what you can do easily. There's a lot of side hustles that are available. If you just want me to run down a list of freelancer things that a person could do um, as side hustles, I mean, graphic design, proofreading, social media management, virtual assistant, like there's a whole lot of easy side hustles. And I say easy with caution um, because it really just depends. But yeah, there's a lot of side hustles that you could pick up to make monthly income if you're serious about doing that. I mean, a quick Google search of like best freelancer, best side hustles would give you a whole lot of YouTube videos with things that are pretty easy to do. Another thing I tell people to do is like go to Fiverr or go to Upwork and look around and see what people are getting paid to do. Like just go on and go look on there. I'm not telling you to like sign up for an account or start finding services, figuring out what services you're going to offer, but go see what other people are being paid to do. People are being paid to do things like transcription. Like if you listen to a podcast, you know, every podcast has show notes. Someone transcribed those most likely, right? Someone listened to that podcast and transcribed those show notes. Some people help podcast folks get guests on their show. Some people manage small businesses email inboxes. Like there are people who literally, I just will manage an inbox, an email inbox for a small business. I actually just hired someone to do that for me. People get paid to do translation services. So if you speak another language, people get paid to do proofreading. People get paid to do copywriting. People get paid to do video editing. Build Canva templates, build website templates, graphic design, virtual assistants, like all kinds of stuff. So if you are stuck on ideas for ways to make money, go to Fiverr, go to Upwork, and see how other people are making money. Check that out. Hopefully that's helpful. Do you know how long the Tulsa Remote program will be open? Indefinitely. So whenever I talk to the leadership of Tulsa Remote and ask them, like, is there a cap on the number of people that you guys are planning to bring in? The answer is no. Like they're going to do this until there's no more money. And they don't seem to be slowing down. I think we hit over 2,000 people that we brought in. Does your quick commuting academy offer career coaching to determine if and how your current job is transferable to remote work? So I'm going to say very directly that your job is likely transferable to remote work. Unless you are performing surgery on someone or driving a train, I can tell you, I'm going to give you your coaching right now. Your job is, if you do it from a computer, it's transferable to remote work, period. If you do physical remote work, right? So let's say you work in retail or you're a truck driver or something like that, you have skills that you can transfer into remote work. And there are so many ways that you can learn new skills that you can do remotely, right? To give you remote job options. And one of the really cool things that we're doing in the Quick Commuting Academy for our full access members is the whole month of October and the whole month of November, we are just focused on upskilling. We are focusing on exposing and teaching you guys skills that you can use to work remotely. So you can either enhance skills you already have or transition into different roles. And these roles are things you can do remotely, like doing QA, quality assurance, doing digital marketing, copywriting, technical writing, which is really just writing instructions, Canva design. I have my graphic designer used to be a virtual assistant. She started teaching herself how to do Canva. And now she completely just does Canva. She lives in the Philippines and she's making good money. And I don't mean good money for a Filipino, because, you know, they love to pay folks in the Philippines $3 an hour. She don't charge that. She charges real money. We're showing people instructional design. We're teaching people how to get into virtual assistants. So there are ways. The direct answer to your question is yes, your skills are transferable. Whatever they are, they absolutely are transferable, and you can learn new skills, right? But to answer the first part of your question, does Quit Commuting Academy offer coaching? Yes, there is a monthly job search strategy session with my girl Martisha Childs, who has been in HR for over 20 years, and she's very passionate. She's as passionate about helping people get this kind of freedom as I am. And I think, Martisha, if you're here, tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I think every third Monday or every last Monday of the month, she will be doing a job search strategy session. Well, she kind of helps you unlock, like, well, what could you do? Um, and I believe we'll be opening one-to-one coaching sessions again in November for 2 weeks. And that's something that I help people figure out a lot in those sessions. Oh, thank you. Somebody said, I love your platform and learned so much. I really appreciate that. I love these remote work benefits. Any reason why you skipped my question? I probably didn't see it, friend. Could you restate it? I'm literally scrolling through these, so I probably didn't see your question. Please don't take it personal. Just drop it again for me, Layla. Um, Somebody said I'm a little snappy. I can think through my response to my manager first, so emails are much better. I like that. So you're saying a benefit of working remotely is like I can take a moment, like it won't be on my face when I respond, when I respond and react. Um, this thing keeps jumping. Let's see here. Yeah, please don't take any of this personal. I cannot read every single one of these. And man, I wish you knew what the pressure was to like sit here and try to read quietly while y'all are watching me and like looking up my nose. I promise you, I'm not skipping anything on purpose. Can you post a link community to help me? Yeah, let me post a link to the community again. I posted it earlier, but it was at the beginning of this. So let me post it again, and it will be in the description box after this live as well when I post this live. So that's the community. There's a free option and a full access option. The full access option is $24.99 a month, and you can cancel at any time. But what you get with that is weekly live master classes. Like all this month, we focused on foundations. We talked about resumes, LinkedIn, and interview skills. All of October and November, we're going to focus on upskilling. So you get weekly master classes. You get live weekly Q&A sessions with me. So I do this once a month here, but I do it once a week with my full access members. You also get monthly office hours with experts. So resume review, LinkedIn review, job search strategy. And you get access to all of the replays of our previous live events. So anything that you have a question about, you can like just search in there for the live events and get access to those. And we post a file every Saturday with close to 100 remote jobs across 11 categories that are not technical. So yeah, that's what you get with the full access membership. So if you want to try out the $24.99, you can try that out. And if it doesn't work, you can cancel it. It won't hurt my feelings at all. I get called for interviews. I tailor my CV for customer service, but I have mainly university degrees and lots of experience in another field. Maybe recruiters think I won't stay. Yeah, it's possible they do think that you won't stay. I mean, and it's a fair assumption. And they think that, so this is back to the being overqualified for customer service positions. A recruiter went on your LinkedIn and saw the jobs that you didn't put on your CV. Yeah, that's a fair assumption. I would say there are some really great recruiters that that are on Instagram. On the interview, it's my friend. She just did a masterclass last night on interviews. I'd say reach out to her on the interview. It's OWN, the interview on Instagram. Reach out to Jenna and ask her like how to navigate those conversations. But what you call out is a very fair point. And maybe you need to address that in your interviews, right? Maybe that's something that you should address in your interviews head on, or if they ask about it, you can address it and you can say, yes, I have a lot of experience in this. And I'm sure a concern may be, excuse me, and I'm sure a concern may be that I'm not necessarily in this for the long haul or that this is just a side hustle for me, but I want to assure you that that's not the case. I'm committed to this for these reasons and lay that out. That's probably what I would do. I hope that's helpful. Um, my current job still works allows me to work from home, but it's only 10 minutes away. Right? Do gig jobs qualify for Tulsa remote? Um, I'm not sure directly, but what I would say is if you're doing gig jobs, you are a freelancer. I think that's what you're asking. But yes, so let me rephrase. Let me rewind that back. Yes, there are plenty of freelancers that are in Tulsa remote. Because freelancing is still a business. Like you owning a business. Um, those excuse me, those freelance websites are full of clients that want to pay you $5 for your skills. They are also full of clients who want to pay you, a fair rate for your skills as well, right? So you're going to see people all over the spectrum. I actually have gotten clients on Upwork before, and there are major companies hiring people off of Upwork. One of my friends built $1 million business off of Upwork. So I want us to stop seeing a sample of the data and making that the story, right? So there are a sample of people getting paid $5. There's also a sample of people getting paid a whole lot more. So that sample of people getting paid $5 is not the whole story, right? So that is not the full story. And there are other ways. And my request when I mentioned those sites earlier for you to go and see what people are getting paid for, what I said was go get ideas. So you don't necessarily have to post yourself on those, right? There are multiple other ways to market yourself. That website is a great place for you to get ideas for how people are freelancing. But I happen to know someone who built $1 million business off of Fiverr. And her clients were clients like HP, Apple, Bose. Those are the people that were hiring her on those sites. And they were not paying her $5 an hour, I can assure you. What's your best advice for someone who has made a career out of being a temp employee and would like to go permanent with a company? Um, do you mean you want to go as a permanent employee with the company that you're working for? If so, then you need to say that, right? Yeah, find out who makes that decision and have that conversation with them. Like, what will it take for me to be permanent? I think that one of the things that we fail to do a lot of times is asking for what we want. And a lot of times we're sitting around waiting for someone to reward us for showing up and doing our job and hoping that they give us what we want in our heads that we haven't said out loud. So if you want to become a permanent employee with the company that you are a temporary employee with, if you haven't had that conversation already, then you should do that. I hope that's what you're asking. If not, let me know. Um, I would like to be proficient in Canva and how could I market that as a service? That's awesome. So you should come to the masterclass. My graphic designer is doing a masterclass October 13th, the second Tuesday in October. I think it's the 12th or the 13th. I can't remember what the date is, but the second Tuesday in October, she will be talking about how she got into doing Canva and how she built her business and how she markets herself as well. And um, you'd be surprised. I actually found her because she posted her story in a Facebook group. But there's multiple ways to market yourself as a freelancer for sure. And you should follow Hannah Dixon, Digital Nomad Kit, because she talks a lot about how virtual assistants market themselves. And I know people don't think of graphic designers as virtual assistants, but that is what it is. It's under that umbrella. Hmm. Excuse me. What was the name of the investment group mentioned earlier? I think you're talking about the real estate investment crew. It's called the Key Resource and it's on Facebook. I will drop the link to that again. She just released a really dope coffee table book too. It looks so good. I love it. Martisha said she's doing her sessions on the third Monday. So every third Monday of the month, Martisha Childs, our resident job search strategist, will be hosting job search strategy sessions for our full access members. And in those sessions, she's basically helping you get unstuck, like helping you find remote jobs, figuring out where they are. And if you just need ideas and to brainstorm, like what kind of work could I do? She's going to be helping you with that too. Hi. Somebody said hi. I just joined. Hi. What time of day are the live workshops? So the live master classes are on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That sounds right. On 7 p.m. Eastern time. The live Q&A sessions are 8 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesdays. And um the expert office hours are at different times, but they're at the same time every month. And I apologize, I don't remember what those times are right now because we are just starting them next month. The community is really good. I had to cancel, but we'll be able to rejoin soon. The master classes are alone are worth joining. Thank you. I remember you. I remember you. I never heard of Upwork. Upwork is great. Upwork is a great freelancer tool. Um, oof, this thing keeps. I wish you guys could see this. It literally starts jumping. Um, oh, I wonder if the Upwork jobs would qualify for Tulsa Remote. Yeah, because you're a freelancer. I feel stuck in customer service. I don't know what to title to transition into. Um, so one, I don't know if you are in the Quit Commuting Academy, but I feel like someone posted that exact thing in the academy like last week. And I responded with, feelings aren't facts. You might feel stuck, but you are not stuck. You are never stuck. You literally always have the option to do something else. Always. So I'm going to repeat again that we are spending 2 months conversing about how to change skills and learn new skills. I encourage you to join us. I encourage you to come through. One thing that you can do for free is go to my YouTube and check out this video on how to live a life of freedom as a virtual assistant. So that might be an option for you as well. Um, I did a whole like 1 hour live session with Hannah Dixon talking about being virtual assistant and how people can transition into that. She has a 5-day virtual assistant challenge. It's coming up again in November, and she will be teaching the masterclass on that in November in the community. So again, you can do that you can watch that video for free, but you can also join the community as a full access member. Again, it's $24.99 a month. And for the next 2 months, we are literally just talking about getting new skills in all of our master classes. So that'd be a great time for you to come through and get from feeling stuck in customer service. I assure you that you are not. Feelings are not facts. You might feel stuck, but you are not stuck, friend, just so you know. Is there also some good freelance info in the Quit Commuting Academy? So the topics about upskilling are things that you can do as a freelancer or you can do as a W-2 employee. So yes, is the short answer. How do you ask for a raise? Where my money at? How do you ask for a raise? I typically, for me, and this is going to be like super condensed, right? I think there's multiple ways you can go about this, but I can tell you what I have done. So you should always be having one-to-ones with your boss, right? Whether that's monthly, bi-weekly, whatever the case may be. You should be having one-to-ones with your boss. And in those one-to-ones, you should be talking about multiple things. You should be talking about how things are going for you, right? Especially if things are going well. You need to be bragging on yourself and saying, hey, this client said this, or I got that. You should be asking for feedback on a regular basis. And you should be talking about what you want next, right? So what I want next could just be like what I have planned for the next couple of weeks or what I have planned for the next month. But bigger than that, it should be what do I want my career to look like, right? And so it shouldn't just have to be one conversation. Hey, I'd like to get a raise. The conversation needs to be, my expectation is that at my next 1-year evaluation or at my next anniversary, my expectation is that I get a raise. I'd like to know, what do I need to do to ensure that that happens, right? Or the conversation is, if it's closer to that time, the conversation is, hey, I just kind of want to lay out that my expectation is that at my next annual review, I get a raise for these reasons, right? So either the question is, what do I need to do to make that happen? Or the conversation is, here are the reasons I believe that should happen, right? And so again, I think the key here is you should be having regular one-to-ones with your boss. And I hear a lot of people say, well, my boss doesn't schedule them with me. It is not your boss's job to manage your career. It is yours, okay? It would be nice if they would help out, but your career is yours. So you should always be asking for the things that you need. Okay. Hopefully that's helpful. Upwork and Fiverr, FIV is in Victor, ERR is the other company. I don't know what I worded. I don't remember what I worded, Eva, but hopefully, thank you for that. I want to do freelance contract work, but I have a daughter who needs insurance here in the States. Do you have any advice? You can still purchase insurance with freelance and contract work. You can absolutely do that. Shonda, I think you went to the Quick Commuting Conference, and I think you bought tickets, if I remember correctly. I think you bought tickets where you have the replays. There was a whole section on freelancing at the last Quick Commuting Conference. And one of those was healthcare and taxes for freelancers. So if I'm right and you do have the replays, go to the replay and watch that video on healthcare. Watch that video on healthcare and taxes for freelancers. But yeah, you can purchase healthcare on the open market. So President Obama made that possible, right? He created one of the policies that came out of his presidency was creating an open market to purchase healthcare at rates that are not, incredibly high like they used to be. It used to be if you weren't covered on an employer plan, you were paying like crazy rates for health insurance, and that's not the case anymore. And one of the things that I think Hannah typically talks about when we talk about virtual assistants is that one of the things you can do in your contracts is you can negotiate your rate to make sure that when you are setting your rates, make sure you are setting your rates to account for all of your costs, including healthcare costs, if that makes sense. But yeah, go check that video out. Yeah, Hannah is super savvy. I love her. You went to Africare in Medellin based on my recommendation. Someone said that they went to Africare in Medellin based on my recommendation. They are busy. Thank you for that. Oh my God. So I love her. The first time I went to her was in 2017. And she was doing hair out of this like small little concrete opening on the side of the road. And it was just her. And now she has a whole little salon. She has a whole salon in like a townhouse. So I didn't mean to say little, but she's got a whole salon in a townhouse, and she's got like multiple people that work for her. She's got like an office manager that handles the scheduling. And I'm just so proud of how much she's grown, and I just adore her. I'm so glad you were able to go. It has to be for a raise. Run me my money. The next time I see my boss, I'm gonna be like, run me my coins. I will say the last time I asked for a raise, it was that straightforward. It was, we were coming out of the first year of the pandemic, and I was like, listen, I haven't gotten a raise in over a year, and I understand that last year was challenging. I expect to get a raise next year. That it was that straightforward, y'all. I fully expect to get a raise next year. Please tell me if that's not happening. I need to know. Yeah, where my money at? Where is my money? Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, Layla, where you at? I don't see your question. I didn't scroll through all of this and I still have not seen your question. So you didn't re-ask it. Are you still here, friend? What was your question that I skipped? I have made it to the bottom of the list. And I promise you, I've probably skipped multiple other questions as well. I have 7 minutes left. So if you still have your question, I'm going to scroll up to see if I see it. Oh, there it is. Girl, I did answer your question. You don't even play me, Layla. Don't even play me. Your question is any suggestions for liquid cash sitting on a regular bank account, not earning anything? I actually interrupted Adelia to answer your question on her live. I said Ali Bank is a good option. They are paying over 2%. Right? I said you need to move to Ali Bank. And then I said SoFi Bank also is paying 2% on checking accounts. Friend, don't play me. I answered your question. We had a whole conversation about that thing. I sure did. I love it. Okay, this is super fun. For everybody that joined me from Picky Girl Travels the Worlds, I sure did answer her question. I hope she's still here. Layla, boo, I'm just giving you a hard time. I absolutely did answer your question, though. We had a whole conversation about bank rates. So to reiterate and repeat, my answer was if you're going to have your money sitting in an account, make sure you're using it sitting in an account that actually has higher rates. And typically, when we are in a recession and interest rates are high, bank rates go up as well. Savings rates go up as well. I could go into detail about why. I ain't gonna do that here because that's not what my channel's for. Um, but there are some banks now that are paying out at higher rates for savings. So I would say if you have savings that's earning less than 2%, then you need to change the bank. Ally Bank is at 2.1%. If you recall, me and Adelia talked about how they've been sending emails every other week, increasing their rates for the last 3 months. I also mentioned that SoFi Bank, SOFI, is paying 2% on savings and checking, which is a big deal because most banks don't pay any interest on a checking account unless it's a money market, and money market accounts come with other stipulations. Like there's a minimum amount you have to put in. There is a maximum you can take out every month. There's a maximum number of transactions. But SoFi Bank is paying 2% on checking accounts, regular checking accounts, which is almost unheard of. I will say SoFi Bank is a online bank. If you feel like you need a branch, that might not be the bank for you. But Ally Bank and SoFi Bank are great options. And I will drop a link to SoFi Bank in the description box. So now I done answered your question 3 times, Layla. All right. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. This was super fun. Again, thanks everybody who joined me from Adelia's channel. Thanks for coming to hang out with me. Hopefully you hang out with me again. And for the people that are already in my crew who always hang out with me, thanks again for showing up. And I will see y'all in a month unless you join the Quick Commuting Academy, especially as a full access member. Then I will see you next week. All right. Y'all have a great week. Happy Work from Anywhere Wednesday.